With the passing of E3, I think it's time to talk about something that just keeps popping up: remake culture. My name is Elroy, and this is my world, and I want to thank you for sparing a few minutes of your day and letting me talk to you about something that I think is pretty interesting. In this day and age, we continuously see the remaster or remake culture on pretty much all platforms. A big example of this is Final Fantasy VII, which is a highly anticipated game by even me. Yes, I'm keen to play the updated version of one of those childhood games that I could never finish. But see, that makes sense. A game from over 20 years ago getting a remake with an updated battle system and format alongside actual voice acting just makes sense. Your childhood, or at least mine, will come alive in a way that looks spectacular. But what about games that are being remade or remastered just to remake or remaster them? Games like Final Fantasy X and X-2. This game was remastered for the PS3, and if you look on sites like eBay, it has been remastered for the PS4 as well. So my question is this: is it really needed? And is it needed so soon after the release of the PS3 version? What I mean by this is, while yes, the PS3 and PS4 are a generation apart and the graphics are so much better on the PS4, did we need the remastered HD version to come out on both consoles? I feel like we could have waited a few generations, which yes, might be about 12 years, who knows, but for an updated remastered version of Final Fantasy X and X-2, and not just released it say every 6 years or 6 months or whatever seems to be the case, which is what seems to be happening right now. So the question I ask is this: do we need to keep remastering games? The pros are simple. Obviously, companies would be exposing new audiences, i.e., younger generations, to games they would probably not know about, unless the series is still going strong today, which is exactly the case with Final Fantasy. It is still going strong. Another pro is the fact that some people may have seen the game on store shelves when they were younger, but didn't really get a chance to pick up or even play it, or they just didn't have the older system, so they couldn't really play the game anyway. But the question I would ask is simple: do they need to be remade or even remastered? I can think of maybe a handful of games that I would love to see remade as reboots, rather than straightforward remaking the game in its original form. This reboot idea has already happened, by the way. Doom 2016, which I have played on this channel, is one of those games where the reboot was considered possible trash, but then was revealed to be pure gold. So much so that I like to replay it here and there, and will definitely do a run through prior to the release of Doom Eternal. Doomvember, anyone? Now, here's the reason why I bring up my slight discomfort with the current remake culture. And I want to emphasize the word slight there. While better graphics for older games is a great idea, we already have so much new content out there that in truth, is it really a struggle to either use the older consoles or for the companies themselves to ensure backwards compatibility? I'm looking at you, PlayStation 5. I'm not even kidding, Sony. That is a big want: backwards compatibility for all platforms or all systems, PS1 through to PS5. Obviously, in terms of reboots, this doesn't matter, right? I love the idea of rebooting a series that might even be considered dead, which I'm fairly certain, and not to keep bringing it up, Doom was, right? We had Doom 3 and people thought that killed the whole series, and Doom 3 BFG, which is good, but still the same thing overall. People were likely thinking that Doom would not be too crash hot, and then we got the steaming pile of awesome. Now, I want to add just a little bit of a disclaimer here, which is this: I'm not against remaking or remastering games. I simply think we need to wait like a generation or even two before we start remastering every single game out there. Just think about this for 1 second. Imagine the hype for The Last of Us being remastered on, say, a PS6, right? With those incredible graphics. What would that actually look like? How would it be after 12 years and possibly at least another 2 or 3 entries in the series? How much more excited would you be, or would younger gamers be, just to have a chance to play the original game but remastered 12 years later? Or like, how much more excited would that generation of gamers be, knowing that they'd never played the game originally? They never were around when it was there, or were too young to play that game when it first got released. And now they get this remake, this remaster, redefined edition, and they get to try it again. Now, here's a big reason why I kind of have some issues with the remaster treatment. Recently, we got news that Final Fantasy VIII is being remastered, and while I'm incredibly excited for that, I'm hoping it doesn't take as long to be released as Final Fantasy VII. That game has taken ages, and even though we finally have an announcement date or a release date, the game is being released the game being released sort of became a joke in the community, to the point where people believed it just could not be done. I saw countless videos of excitement, but then at the same time, I saw videos laughing at the idea that this game could even be remade, and probably that it wouldn't be remade, considering how big the game was back then. And now knowing how big it'll be on release, that's 2 Blu-ray discs in case you're wondering, that is absolute craziness. The thought that this game would be released was just insane originally. People were thinking that the trailer was great, but it was too ambitious, and now we have a release date. But look, maybe I'm being too picky when talking about the remake culture. Maybe I'm going on some rant for nothing, and you're perfectly fine with the idea of games being remade for newer consoles. Like I said before, I'm not completely against the idea of remaking or remastering a game, but not if it's just the same game with all the DLC, so we're considering that a remaster? That is not a remaster, by the way. That's just the game how it should have been released in the first place, and now they're trying to milk it for all the money it's worth. Just saying, that is ridiculous. Anyways, what do you guys think? Do you guys think, or do you like games coming out on multiple platforms? Would you purchase a game if you really loved it on multiple platforms, say the PS4 and the PS5? Or do we have too many remakes and remasters coming out, and we should really just be focusing on the new content with new stories that move us? Leave a comment down below, guys, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, consider remastering that subscribe button by hitting it, and even that notification bell, so you can know whenever I release more content like this. Now, I do put up a video each week. I try to put them up on Fridays, and a gaming video on the weekends, so there's some gameplay going on for you on the weekends as well. So keep an eye out for that this weekend. Now, if you do like this video as well, please click that like button so that I know that this is something that you'd like to see more of, or topics like this that you'd like to explore in more detail. And I will see you in the next one. Now, as always, before I do go, I'd like to tell you to enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy your weekend. And again, I'm sure I will see you in the next one. Bye.